A logarithm to the base a of x is defined only when x is positive. So a logarithmic function has a restricted domain. Logarithm to the base a of u exists only when u is greater than 0. So to find the domain of the function logarithm to the base a of u, we'll have to solve the inequality u is greater than 0. In the example, we want the domain of the function f of x equals logarithm to the base 1/2 of x squared minus 3. So as we already said, the domain of that function will be determined by the inequality x squared minus 3 greater than 0. So to find the domain, we need to solve that inequality. This is a polynomial inequality, so to solve it, we'll start with finding the zeros of the polynomial or solving the equation x squared minus 3 is equal 0. That equation solves quickly using the square root property and we'll get plus or minus square root of 3. Once we have zeros, we draw the number line and we'll make the sign chart for the polynomial x squared minus 3. We plot the points negative square root of 3 and the square root of 3. Now to determine the signs of the expression x squared minus 3, we make the table and we'll use the test points in the intervals obtained by dividing the number line using points negative square root of 3 and positive square root of 3. So in the first interval from minus infinity to negative square root of 3, we can choose negative 2. The value of x squared minus 3 is going to be 4 minus 3, and therefore it is positive. And that means that the polynomial x squared plus 3 is positive for every x in this interval. In the next interval, we can choose value 0. The value of x squared minus 3 is going to be negative 3, so it's negative. And that means that the polynomial is negative in the whole interval from negative square root of 3 to square root of 3. And in the last interval, we can choose 2. The value is going to be 4 minus 3, which is positive, and therefore here the expression x squared minus 3 is positive. Now what we want is x squared minus 3 to be greater than 0. So we are looking at the number line, we look at that sign chart that we made, and we are looking for the plus sign because being greater than 0 means to be positive. So this part has a plus sign and this interval has a plus sign. At negative square root of 3 and positive square root of 3, the expression x squared minus 3 is exactly 0, so those points are not going to be included. And therefore, we can say that x squared minus 3 is greater than 0 for x in the interval. The first interval is from minus infinity to negative square root of 3, and the second interval is from the square root of 3 to plus infinity. And since there are two of them, we'll use the union symbol. And therefore, we can write the domain of the function f is that union of the intervals from minus infinity to negative square root of 3 to square root of 3 to plus infinity.